Unfortunately, I know how bad it can go when you're in the hospital and you don't have any kind of support system to advocate for you. If you've never seen me before, hi, my name is Emily, and the last time that I was hospitalized for an allergic reaction to the sun was in February of 2024. During that hospitalization, I had to leave the first hospital that I went to under threat of police and go to a second hospital for continued treatment. But had I have not started advocating for myself, the first hospital would have killed me. I think it's about time I tell this story. It's a long one though, so if you want to watch this video on double time, I understand. Last February, I was admitted to the hospital for an allergic reaction to the sun. It was Stevens-Johnson syndrome. I told them this as soon as I got into the emergency room, but I knew something was wrong when they took me up to an actual room, and they weren't taking me to the burn unit or the ICU. Most patients who are admitted with Stevens-Johnson syndrome are admitted to the burn unit or the ICU because of the severity of the wounds. They require special treatment and knowledge to treat them. The next day, they wheeled me into another room, and there was a family member there waiting for me who would come to see me. This was the last family member that I had that I considered supportive up until this incident. As soon as the nurse wheeled me into the room, this family member made a joke about me using my UV umbrella. The very reason I was admitted in the hospital was for a UV reaction. Fast forward about 30 or 45 minutes, and the doctor who I was assigned to came in to talk to me. The doctor immediately started to question me about Stevens-Johnson syndrome and sun reactions. They even questioned whether I was really allergic to the sun. They didn't believe me. And this supposed supportive family member sat there quietly and didn't say a word to advocate for me. It got to a point where the doctor was getting an attitude with me, so I was getting an attitude with the doctor back. And I finally raised my voice at him and told him he could just leave my room if he wasn't going to listen to anything I had to say. And he left. And then instead of getting any kind of support from this family member, I got a lecture about how I talked to the doctor. About 30 minutes later, this person left my room, and unbeknownst to me, I found out later, they actually stopped some of the nursing staff in the hallway to apologize for my behavior of advocating for myself. Oh, but wait guys, we're not even to the best part of this story yet. I'm just setting the scene. I was in this hospital for another 3.5, almost 4 days. During those 4 days, they took a biopsy off of my lower stomach that they did not monitor or maintain. They refused to put an IV in me. I had no fluids. I had sores all in my mouth, and the skin was falling off of my tongue, so I couldn't eat solid foods, and they refused to bring me anything other than a sandwich. The last time I had gotten up to go to the bathroom, my urine was almost brown. I had called the nurse in to take my blood pressure because I knew my POTS was acting up, and when the last time she took it, it looked like this. And they insisted that I was fine. After 5 days of this, and after noticing that the biopsy site was not only yellow, but smelled bad, and also I had a massive yellow growth on my chin that also smelled bad, I was demanding that they come in there and do something. And every time the nurse would come back and say that the doctor says that according to my blood work, I don't even need an IV. I had to take a breath. Y'all, this is hard. So after being admitted in this hospital for almost 6 days, I finally demanded to see a charge nurse and the patient services director. And I had a very long conversation with both of them, which I recorded and still have. During these conversations, I was demanding to be treated for the clear infection that was growing on my face. I was afraid it was MRSA because, again, I know that the wounds from Stevens-Johnson syndrome are usually treated in the ICU or the burn unit because they're so prone to infection. And they pretty much just said, well, this is what your doctors have ordered. So at that point, I told them I wanted to be transferred to another hospital because I didn't feel safe at this hospital anymore. But the nursing manager said to me, we're one of the best hospitals in the state. We don't send people to other hospitals. Other hospitals send people to us. And then she walked out of the room. Less than an hour later, she came back in and told me that all of my doctors had signed off on discharging me and I was free to go. And that if I wasn't gone in 30 minutes, they were going to have me escorted out by police. I begged them. I was in hysterics, crying, begging them not to do this, just to put me in an ambulance and send me to another hospital. And they refused. I'm shaking while I'm telling this, guys. This is traumatic just to retell this story. I tried to call that family member. I was hysterical, begging them to please come and get me. And they told me that they weren't going to be able to be there for several hours, even though the police were supposed to be there in less than 30 minutes. I called every single person that I could possibly think of that even knew my name. Everyone. And no one came. The hospital ended up calling me an Uber. that I had to pay for. And the Uber took me 10 minutes down the road to another hospital where I was immediately admitted. I'm just gonna leave it here, guys, because I know that people are gonna have so many questions if they've made it this far in the video. But I will leave you with a couple of pictures. The first picture is what my blood pressure was when I got to the second hospital. And the second picture is what my face looked like when I was forcibly kicked out of the first hospital and admitted into the second one. Leave your comments below. I'm happy to answer questions. This needs to be talked about.